It is open, my friends, while toils have yet to begin. Laughter we had in gales and floods, but if not, at least there will be blood. The sorrow and loss may abound. We'll do our best to hold this hallowed ground.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Albarian where we relate to RPGs and have a hoot. We last left this wonderful lot off in the middle of the ocean as Caudle was given a deal by the primordial known as the General. Having returned and everyone else having already kind of discussed a little bit as to whether or not they would be willing to accept a deal from said entity, they talked about it a little bit more until, after a little pressure, indecision, it came down to Fear reminding them again that he's always told them to ask, and not dispersion. Caudle caved and asked about the final object, or what the final goal was, and Fear just blurted it out. Join them all inside the middle of that cabin room with Fear smiling down at Caudle and leaving it to just silence in the air.
So there's a jar with something inside it, and you want us to break it?
Yes. It's a fabric of nothing.
Why is...
Very dangerous.
Oh, what now? A fabric of... Huh?
It's a little piece of something that's embedded inside the existence of everything around you. If it's pulled out or manipulated and changed, it could... Well, it could be worse than what you would understand to be a wish spell. Quite catastrophic, really.
Okay,
Want us to break it?
and...
Yes. We want it
Why?
to return where it belongs.
And in doing so, that will do what?
That will prevent it from being used to do said terrible, horrible things.
But it has nothing to do with the cycle.
It itself has nothing to do with the cycle. It itself is something that can have everything to do with the cycle. If it's in the
If
wrong
somebody
hands.
has this... If somebody has this object, is the cycle able to be stopped?
Yes.
Okay. So, will we be able to stop the cycle if we destroy this object?
No.
Yes.
How so?
Well, if you break it, you yourself could utilize that very moment to change things how you would like it to be. It's very volatile, though, so my recommendation would be to just let it pass and let the moment be.
And why would we let the moment be if the whole point of this expedition is to stop the cycle?
Well, I'll give you an example here. If, for say, the change you wanted would be to remove a singular thing, say you don't like orchids, no, poinsettias, those things, they keep poisoning your house cat. You want them to be around your house. So you wish for... Well, you don't want them to be around. You just don't want... This analogy's gotten away from me. Those flowers, you just don't like them and you don't want them to exist anymore, and you use that moment of energy to get rid of them. It wouldn't just get rid of them. It would get rid of all flowers. And then you would have this existential problem of, well, where are all the bees going to get their pollen? How are they going to pollinate? How is the economy going to last? And the world would then collapse into a terrible, terrible situation. And the next rendition, when it starts up again, would still have no flowers.
So what
So-
you're saying is that whether or not we're able to stop the cycles, or at least prevent everything from ending permanently, that this thing on the island could be used by someone to permanently do damage
Yes, and repeatedly as well.
to every timeline,
All
to every cycle, I should say.
consistency.
Like, we could just go there and
Oh, choppy.
Yo.
Coddle has turned into a robot.
Coddle's turned into robot Chippy Chop.
I'm suddenly on
Oh.
Cyberstan again, hearing propaganda being spewed from the Vox machines.
Run a speed
no.
test, Coddle. Run a speed
Okay,
test.
how do I-
Speed test.
How's that?
Oh, you're back.
Hey,
Okay. Sorry, I tried switching to my hotspot because right as Innkeeper, right as you were giving Fear's speech, it cut out.
oh,
And so I was like, I'm sick of this. And so I tried switching to my hotspot, but I guess that isn't any better. So
Oh, no.
I apologize in advance if you're giving this drawn out speech and it cuts out.
no worries.
But I got the
Internet
gist.
interneting.
So, yeah. Okay. So, anyways, what I was saying was, okay, well, why don't we just do, as you say, go there and break the jar, and then in that final moment of the jar existing, wish for the cycle to end, and then be done with it. I mean, I feel like that takes care of two problems at once. We stop the cycle, and we prevent this great power from falling into bad hands. I mean, even if the entity that I met is a trickster, the fact of breaking this jar means that, you know, no entity could use it to not stop the cycle or to keep the cycle going forever. But if we are the ones to break it, then we gain the singular momentary power of being able to stop the cycle. Seems like a win-win to me.
Have you ever seen a wish spell actually used?
Yeah. And succeed.
No. But I don't really know a whole ton about wish spells, so
Whoever makes the wish has to be so very particular with their wording in order for it to go off correctly
we
that it is
come up.
Just a little bit
So we-
worse with these ones. It's not just your
So, I mean-
wording, it's your intent as well. But your wording has
Okay.
a strong implicator on it. So if you word it in a certain way where you have a pure intent, it's still going to go wrong.
Okay, so we find someone with the purest intent, make a plan, write stuff down, and then go from there. I don't really see how else we could stop the cycle.
How do you judge intent?
By examining character.
Fair question.
I mean, same way we're judging the entity here. I mean, we're judging him based off of the character that his character being he's a trickster. Therefore, we're making the judgment call of his intent to trick me.
What's your player question?
Oh no. Sorry. I have to.
Whoop,
You got to deal with the baby.
bodily duties.
He accidentally
Summons.
he muted right as he was explaining. I get it.
We understand.
Another wish spell just went off. Called the child made a
Mhm.
wish.
Apologies. Lock the fam out of the house.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, that's
He needed
that's
some time,
dangerous.
guys. He needed some time.
What was it? Oh, it's a
Leave me
few
alone. I'm playing D&D. Gosh.
Baby.
First off, just so I make sure that you heard me, I rolled for heart attack and got a 20.
Okay.
He says.
are still alive.
Secondly, great. Secondly, can I roll insight to see if fear is leaving things out?
Go for it, yeah. Give me an insight check.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Snorsboop, you've been around fear a decent amount of time at this point, and you're starting to see a decent amount into his words and how he speaks, and how he's spoken to this entire time. Everything he says is truthful. Yes, he's leaving things out, because you haven't asked him about those specific things yet. If you ask him the right questions, he will tell you everything.
Okay. Well, that changes things.
Does Schnozboop tell this to the rest of the group?
I think
He's considering it, because he would have thought the opposite before just now. So he's probably just going to think on it for a second while you guys continue to discuss. Fear. Would it be true to say that if any of us ask you a question, you will tell us the truth?
I have the capability of not being limited in the words that I can tell you. Whether or not I choose to tell you the truth will highly depend on what question you're asking. There is some that I don't see necessary to answer. But anything and everything pertaining to this, of course. I will tell you this much as well, before you say anything else, or ask your next question. If I am holding information back from you, I will tell you.
Okay. That's something. Well, we'll just start at the beginning then. How did this jar get there? Who put it there?
He looks at BT. His creator.
Didn't put it.
Not him
Oh.
himself. Something they've been working on for many renditions now. It's a little annoying. Would you be surprised if you learned that you were the side hobby?
The first. The finder. Interesting.
He's the first mortal to ever
Not
figure
really.
out how to separate themselves from the cycle. Not completely, of course. There's still
Has there been
faulty problems to
Sorry.
it.
Have there been other mortals who have figured out a similar process?
A few.
Mortals? No.
Yes, actually.
Mortals.
Mortals. There are a few of them.
Huh.
And why did he put the jar there?
It's a power source.
Oh.
It is the raw energy of existence, Snorsboop, captured in a jar. And I say jar, it's really more like a thing with metal stuff on either side. At least that's if he followed through. You'll know it when you see
What was
it.
his main project?
That.
Just that. Is he outside of the cycle?
I don't know,
Why not?
because I haven't encountered him for a couple of cycles.
Have you encountered him before across different cycles?
Of course I have. I've even met a few earlier renditions. Although they,
Okay, so
I don't think, are alive anymore.
so you know he has been able to break the cycloidal before.
Yes.
You just don't know if he is still doing it.
I know he can recover his previous memories. That's how he's found me in the past. I don't know if he's fully broken through. If he has, takes another look at BT, it will have been in a very unique way.
BT, have you broken the cycle?
I myself, no, but I am capable of it.
Do you think you might be the creator of this jar?
No.
That would make things very easy if he were.
So, you said this jar, jar in quotes, because you were talking about metal earlier, but you're talking about how this jar was the power source that comes from existence. How does killing the power source of existence help other people's existence continue?
You're not killing it, you're setting it free.
We have a small piece of infinity in a jar, and we're just putting the infinity back with infinity.
Okay.
Subset of infinity is still infinity. I always loved that math problem. Anyway. So, he was working on how to get out of the cycle. As a sub-project, he somehow managed to create something that is out of the cycle. Which would make sense that then he would try to use me as his way of getting completely out of the cycle. You first build something that exists out of the cycle, then you link to it.
Fear, as a primordial being, oh wait, I kind of interrupted. That's my bad.
Oh no,
That's
you're
fine. Keep
wonderful. It was good timing, actually.
I was gonna say, Fear, Mr. Fear, you're telling us all this and whatnot, but you're a primordial being, so you're outside of the cycle.
No, they're not.
We're loosely based. It's like calling a fracture a break of the bone. While it is a break of the bone, it's not actually considered that or seen as that because it's not a complete break. We are technically outside of the cycle, but we don't live through the transition. BT here lives through it.
Okay. My question to you is, what is your stake in us setting this life force free? Like, why do you want us to do that?
To be quite frank, I don't actually really know. Doesn't really matter to me either way. Perhaps the reason why I'm working towards it is because I've been convinced that helping you helps me. My real end goal is for Agony. I would like to get her free.
What is that? Split or free? What is the difference, sir?
Free.
You don't want to separate them back into pain and loss.
Oh no, I want to separate pain and loss away from Agony.
I'm lost now. Now I'm lost. I thought pain and loss made agony.
pain and loss were fused into agony.
Yes.
Might have been a thing, yes, as part of translation from the old Nathrielian language in which that saying was first made. They were into agony. Not into agony, as in they were combined into agony. Oh, now they're one entity.
As in
No,
a
as
third
in
being.
a third being.
So, we need a 3-way split.
Oh, just a two-way.
We
I don't
need-
care what happens to pain and
loss. Okay.
loss. I
Why
don't
do you
care
care what happens to agony?
You don't need to know that. It doesn't pertain to anything important towards you're working towards. All you need to know is that it's important to me.
And Fear, why? Well, I like you more than the entity that I met, but why should I go and make that deal with you rather than the entity that I just had a conversation with?
That's entirely up to you. With me, there's a little additional caveats to it. First is I can protect all of you. No need for multiples. The second, I would also be requiring that you help me free agony.
Would you
Sorry.
change your goal to just freeing agony?
Potentially. As long as I had an understanding as to knowing what you plan on doing with that sliver of our piece of reality.
I would classify that as the same as why you want agony free. You don't need to know that.
He stares at BT for a while, and looks over at Schnorsby. Your word holds more weight than his does.
Ouch.
I can support freeing of an entity. That seems like a good goal to me.
And what of your thoughts to a tool that could see the absolute destruction of everything you ever fought and loved? What would you plan on doing with something like that?
I'm a man of peace. But I think that kind of power would require long thought and wisdom before deciding, and not the hour we have here, which I think we have some time before we arrive to ponder that part.
Roughly 3 days, yes.
Yes. So to answer your question at this point, I don't know.
Would you be okay? Let me make this simple, Oz. Would you be okay with me absorbing that power?
That seems, once again, like a hasty decision, based upon what Fear has said about the power. And I surprisingly don't have a reason to doubt that what he said is true. My first thought is that that would be bad for you, my friend. And as something that's bad for you, I don't think I'd want it. But I'm not stuck on that thought. That's just the first one that's come to my mind. But as I said, though, freeing agony, that seems like a worthy goal, and I am supportive of it. Does that help?
Let me
Fear?
let me state something that has also been never stated before in our party. That is starting to make some more sense. I exist outside of the cycles, or can, or does. The one question that no one has ever asked, which surprised me that Altian never asked, is what powers me?
Oh, buddy, if you think I wasn't actively trying to pry you open the first chance I got, you were out of your mind.
They were private
know.
messages.
BT, didn't
There
I
were
ask you what
quite a
powered
few
you?
private messages.
I think, simply put, that, and I'm sure Fear is not going to like this answer, that the exact same power source already exists in me. Not to maybe the extent that it exists in that jar, but how else would I exist outside of the cycle?
That would make sense if you came from the same creator.
You see Fear just twist one of his hands and a scalpel shows up in it. Shall we find out? Put that theory to the test.
So you see,
Enough.
Fear is not
All of you.
beyond destroying me to find out things.
I am dreadfully curious. He was in pieces when he was found, from what I understand.
Not that many. To that extent. I think if I am able to contain that power already, yes, adding that would change me, no doubt about it. But I think I'm already built for it.
Built for tough. Sorry.
To repair daily. I mean,
There's a lot to think on. I think we can all agree on that. Even Kaz, who hasn't said anything.
She's now chewing on the bottom of her foot.
I think Kaz is Kaz.
Are there any other questions? Or I'm not sure. It seems like you're restricted by a Q&A type of methodology, Fear, but if you have any insights to put on us, feel free.
Can we save destruction? Can we bring back wrath?
You could. Destruction is a little bit more simple. His was siphoned away, put into something I don't understand until I see it. But a couple of possible examples. But you can always retrieve what was stolen from him. But what lies inside that jar could very well end what's happened to Wrath as well. It will free him from the prison he built for himself. And to be quite frank and honest, the originals would really appreciate that. He's a
Great.
little needed.
Raises his hand and waits.
Draken.
What happens to someone outside the realms if the cycle starts over while he's still here?
Oh, wonderful question. Your soul gets put into the void and added to the cycles. You will be reborn as a mortal inside this area and not remember who you were.
Well, that's not going to happen on my watch. I am
That's
very
why
quiet
we want
now.
to stop the
I
cycles.
am extraordinarily quiet now.
But that's not the only reason. Okay. I understand that we have this little all God power source sitting over there. And maybe possibly to the same extent a little or a smaller piece than me. But ignoring that God power source, whatever that battery is there a way to save destruction and wrath?
Destruction through the same means I said. I mean, you have to find his power, recover it, shatter it, and get it back, whatever it is, blah blah. We'll know more about that when we know what happened to him. I'm in the same realm as you are. With wrath, I don't know. We're in the same boat as you are in that as well. It's never been seen. It's never been done. I do know that the jar would fix both of those. It could just as
The jar doesn't
easily
fix all anything.
start the cycle over again.
I'd rather keep the jar out of the equation here. Because it happened without the jar.
Did
Correct?
you would be correct?
So there has to be a way.
And that
There
would
has to be the mechanics, so to say, of how it happened and how it can be reversed.
You would be correct. Unfortunately, and I am being honest here, I don't know. Both things that happen in both those realms are new to me. Never seen them before.
Which should excite you. Something new.
Oh, it does,
Out of how
dreadfully.
many hundreds and thousands of cycles? Something new happened.
Well,
Okay, first Grandal question then. Should we encourage or discourage Coddle's decision?
Well, I think making a pact with the entity that I briefly visited is a no-go.
Good choice.
But I am open to making a deal with fear and destroying the jar. I still think destroying this jar, setting that part of infinity free, and using that final wish to stop the cycle is our best plan. But I'm open to hearing how I'm wrong.
Well, if what he said is true about the flowers, if we say stop the cycles, we may just end the world forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I will also
Okay,
point
so
out
I mean, we have-
that you can just release it and let it pass. You don't actually need
Which
to
is why
use anything. Just
I'm trying to find,
let it be.
ways of doing things without using the all God mighty thing.
Okay, so like if we just set it free and let it pass, does that stop the cycles?
No, it prevents people from doing horrible things with something extremely powerful.
Or it prevents somebody good from doing something really good?
A very altruistic mindset. See if it
Points of
continues
view.
when you
Very-
have your
very
hands on that
true.
power.
Very true. Given the way of the world, then yeah, that power is not good for a singular person to have. We can set up a democracy on the island and let them make decisions with that power.
My experience with such things would say that they would never come to a decision.
Hey, I heard primordials like sarcasm, so.
In an unrelated note, Captain Cook's death anniversary was the other day. Definitely not involved with the thing you just said in any way.
Let me ask you something else, Sphere. Do you care about us at all?
It's a terrible. No, I don't. I can't lie. I'm sorry. I'm curious about a few of you. But to be honest, I might have met some of your souls before. And it's a little difficult to care when most of the time it just goes the same way. Things don't change. Pestilence got me into all of this, and actually started getting me to think something could, because of a few details that we've already mentioned. Something new's happening. It's curious. So right now, no. I don't. But I'm open to caring again.
Like you care for agony?
Ooh, give me an insight check.
Can we make it a group insight check?
Yeah, everyone give me an insight check.
Because I can't.
Yeah, but BT mentioning that would be enough for everyone to merit one, yeah.
I rolled a total of 3 for an insight check.
Carlos
Gosh.
too distracted in his own mind.
17.
17.
15.
15.
Mine straight up, so 12.
12.
I got actually pretty good insight. I currently have my big toe up my nose picking instead of my hand. But I did roll a 26.
Good grief. Kaz, you're the only one who notices it. But there is a spike of it's strange to see. I mean, that particular phrase, yourself with your history, you would probably see like anguish or sorrow or something like that. No, in him, it's anxiety. He feels a spike of anxiety when BT openly points that out.
Kiz pauses with her big toe up her nose and is got the whole like eyes looking up at fear kind of look, slow blinking, her tongue kind of lolling out of her mouth a little bit.
He kind of blinks a few times and smiles at you, BT. Perhaps. I'm sure you all have a lot to talk about. That would be better done without a primordial around. Come, Chaos, let's see if we can give them some space to think about all this. Chaos is just kind of sitting there and he's been mimicking Kizkaz this whole time. And he goes, Pops the toe out of his nose. Okay. Pops over to Fear's shoulder. They leave the room.
Well, I admit Fear's discussion of things is a lot more interesting than the other entities.
I mean, if you feel that you need protection on the island, which is definitely a valid fear, I would definitely suggest you go with fear instead of the other entity if given a choice. But
And I will say, for my part, as a man of peace, I would like to free Agony regardless. So,
Did anyone else notice the look he gave when VT mentioned thing about Agony in him?
what look was it? What did you see, kid?
Well, it's how to put? It's like that fear when you wake up in the morning, you see your cold fire, and you're like, oh wait, I forgot to go hunting last night. What am I gonna eat? It's just, oh maybe no, that's not it. No, the anxiety of not knowing what the day has in. Oh no, that's not it either. No, it was something fear like. It seemed like he was afraid, and yet not anxious. Maybe.
Fear losing Agony? Fear of possibly Agony not being who they remember?
well, I mean, there's definitely a connection between the two that he doesn't want to talk about. And I always assumed that separating pain and loss was part of the objective. I didn't understand that there was a third entity, and I have no problem with breaking, in order to separate them, we need to break them away from Agony anyhow. So yeah, sure, that follows. No worries there.
Right. So then the question is, the jar. Do we break it? Do we use it? Do we not?
I definitely don't think we should use it.
Do either of you know how we're going to separate the entities to begin with?
Not a clue.
No. That's maybe a question we should have asked before he left.
Yeah, well, we've got 3 days. We can come back to that.
Once we find that out, we make the decision about the jar. One thing at a time. Because whether or not he has an answer for how we go about this, maybe using what's in the jar to separate them could be a possibility.
Pretty sure that we have to go through them first before we can get to the jar. The option of using the jar will become after we separate fear and agony, or pain, loss, and agony.
Let's hope.
I still do want to throw out the third option of letting me absorb the jar instead of breaking it and using it. I mean, not using it and not breaking it, but adding it to my power source.
I do think that would be bad for you, Big Tin. But obviously I have very limited knowledge of what it is.
I think it's necessary for my next step, but That's also
Next step
just
to what?
existence.
Run that by
My
me some more.
My existence. What am I? Right now, I'm a sentient construct, which really doesn't make sense in this world. I also exist outside the cycles, which doesn't make sense to this world. I think that I can become more. What that more is, I don't know yet.
Is more better?
I think so.
Why?
Don't you want to become more?
Why would I want to be more? Just...
You're trying to
I
make
don't
the world
know.
a better place, right?
True, well, that's the world becoming more, not me.
But if you had more of an ability to help the world, wouldn't you do that?
Well, I think, as we've seen, if I had more abilities, it might affect my willingness to affect the world in a positive way.
I mean, some of those are just answers I don't have, I guess.
Yeah. And
I look at my evolution and I think that's the next step, and I think it's a better thing.
yeah, and I'm not closed off to that, mind you. But with the limited knowledge that we have, it doesn't seem like the best course, but as we gain more knowledge, perhaps that will become less true.
I don't know. If I had to put it to words, I think that there is a strange way of putting it, but there is a symmetry to the law of three. And right now the law of three doesn't exist in the higher planes. You have gods and you have primordials. I think there needs to be a third thing. Keep everything in balance. Again, hypothetical mathematical thinking. That's all I'm limited to. I know that from what I have seen in my limited time, and you guys can agree or disagree with me, the gods aren't always the best thing for people, and neither is primordials.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw, however many years ago that was, in Andrea, and by we saw, I mean we read and heard about, the gods just seem to be more powerful entities. I mean, they're just, people who searched for and found more power, and maybe the primordials have been or longer something. I'm not really sure of the difference myself. It seems like they're just the same. So, yeah, I mean, you deal with a king differently than you deal with a peasant, perhaps, but they're just people. And that's all that it seems to be in this realm, as far as I can tell. And so, I guess, you wanting to join that, just means you wanting to be more powerful. Is Big Ten being more powerful good? And will it continue to be good? Because it seems like some of these higher entities have changed up what side they're playing for as the cycles have turned.
Point. All I can say to that is I was designed to protect.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that holds true in the future, I can't say to that. But I hope it does. That's the whole reason why I want to go higher, so that I can extend that role better than what I am seeing being exercised by the current gods and primordials. But anyway, yes, this is a very deep conversation, and we may never even make it to that point, so probably figuring out how to deal with pain, loss, and agony first is a better idea.
Yeah, that would be definitely the first step, but I will definitely want some semblance of a plan in place before we see that jar.
I definitely am very much against trying to use it, because I think there is just no way any of us could state that correctly without there being bad consequences, but who knows.
Any other thoughts?
One thing at a time.
Yeah, just take it slow, absorb all the information we can before making a decision.
Well, can't be too slow. We have 3 days, seemingly.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
3 days should be enough.
You think so?
I mean, well, given how quickly decisions must be made in this world, I'm sure we'll figure it out. 5 minds.
Well, your optimism warms my heart.
With that loveliness, we'll
You're
close out
welcome.
the night and the episode for that one. Well, the episode, really. And catch you all next week on next episode. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Bye.
The end may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go around. Tired and blurry you may be. We hope your minds are full from this revelry. May peace follow you out. May you return for more giggles and shouts.